Hey everybody, welcome back to the Surf Run channel. Wrapping up week 7, completely wrapped up week 7 with a total volume this week of 30 miles. That included 4 runs, 2 10-mile days, a 7-mile day, and today did a 5K. Returned to racing. First race this year, in fact. Not only that, but returned to the Carlsbad 5000, which I haven't run the Carlsbad 5000 since 2019. In fact, this is a lot of returns here because this is the first 5K I've done in quite a while. The Carlsbad 5000 has a 20K version. Once had a 25K version where you actually run all 4 5Ks or all 4 4Ks, and that was a super favorite fun race for me. Did it for many years in a row. It's a great training run for like a spring marathon. However, this year did the 5K and did it with a good friend of mine and my son. We went back, we got up super early in the morning, in the dark, in the cold. Yes, it is chilly sometimes in SoCal. It's in the 40s here. And made our way to the coast, to Carlsbad, and bibbed up, lined up, and took off. And did our best for the day, did the best with what we had. I will admit for myself that I have 0 speed training, 0. So no expectations for this 5K other than just give it my best, give it what I can, try and run essentially as hard as I can for 3.1 miles, which is kind of a strategy I'm not really used to. I am used to kind of just rationing my energy over hours of running. So to kind of go, okay, what's the strategy for just 20 minutes of running? Nevertheless, I feel pretty good about it. Actually, I don't feel pretty good. I feel okay about it. My slowest 5K in a long time. My slowest 5K, even when I was doing those back to back 5Ks, those 20Ks for that 20K race, I was running faster than what I did today for each of those races. You know, it's something I just expect myself to be able to run somewhere in that 18-minute range for a 5K, but ended up running 19:30, I think, or 19:28 or something like that today. So I knew that was going to happen in the first mile when I hit the split at 6:07 a mile. I was hoping to go in that 5-minute range, 6:07. Kind of realized it right there that I just don't think I'm going to be able to get in that 18-minute range. So the strategy turned or pivoted towards just beating my son. And I don't know how I did it, but I did. He finished a couple seconds behind me. So held off my son one more year in the 5K. Although I'll admit, I really totally expected him to run way better than that today. Don't know if it was a great day for him. I don't think it was. We still had a great race, and we were just seconds apart from each other. My buddy Marcin was just another few seconds behind him, so all 3 of us finished back, really close to each other, and had a great fun race. Great weather, pretty chilly for SoCal anyways. I know it does get cold in Southern California and San Diego, so in the 40s, and I was actually a little cold during the race itself. The race started at 6:55, so that's really early for a 5K. You just don't really get much of a chance to warm up. But nevertheless, fun race. Had a great time. The beer garden is fantastic, and the race itself is well organized. Got to meet, well, I've met Meb Kavlezgi before, but got to see him again and fist bump him again, so that was great. Meb is a hero. Meb is a hometown hero. If you don't know who he is, check him out. Meb, of course, won Boston Marathon in 2014. I was there that year. It was pretty insane when I crossed the finish line of the Boston Marathon. Asked one of the volunteers like who won, and she said Meb, and I just lost it. I thought it was just the coolest thing ever. He's also a silver medalist in the Olympics, and very successful marathoner from my hometown, San Diego. So wonderful to see him at the finish line, greeting everybody. Just a gracious and awesome ambassador to the sport of running. So great to see him, and good to be back again in a tech shirt with a bib pinned to it. So that was cool. So this week was a weird week for me. I did get my volume in. I got my 30 miles in, which is great. However, I had to move things around a little bit. On Tuesday, I was still feeling the residual effects of a sprained ankle from the week before. So instead of doing my hill training on Tuesday, I decided to forego that and let my ankle heal one more day, and instead went and hit bear down and did some cross training, which was a good choice, smart choice for me. Great bear down session. Wednesday, I did doubles at work. I did a lunch run at work of 4 miles, then came home in the late afternoon, early evening, and finished the day off with 6 miles, total 10 miles on Wednesday. That actually worked out really well because I timed it perfectly. It rained on Wednesday in the afternoon, and so I was able to get the rain gear on again and get out in the rain. I really just don't think there's on, and I did my best to kind of just go light on the weight and really take it easy on my ankle. And so then Saturday, ran 10.5 miles or something like that, 10 miles on Saturday at a tempo. Kind of tried to keep the pace in that 7:30 range, which is not marathon pace, it's not even half marathon pace. But I knew that I was going to be doing a 5K today. Actually, it didn't really matter. What factored into that pace really wasn't the fact that I was doing a 5K today. That was irrelevant. I wasn't holding back at all. It really was a 7:30. I dropped some 7:10, 7:15s in there, but I also had some high sevens. I think even an 8-minute mile of, with the hills in the area. But my effort anyways was probably marathon effort, just not marathon pace. Anyways, today's 5K, probably already talked about this, but I feel okay about it. Not super excited about my time, and 19:30 I think is what my time was. Probably the slowest 5K I've run for a long time. And man, just makes me feel like I'm missing something, like my training's missing. It's missing one small important component, which is speed work. And that was on display today. That was evident today with just not being able to maintain like a sub 6-minute pace. I hit the first mile in 6:07. I just can tell at that moment, that's it. I'm not going any faster than this. 6:07, let's just hold. Let's do some sort of an even split all the way through. And couldn't even do that. So yeah, not actually very thrilled with my time today. But it still was a good race. Everything, all things equal, everything worked out. The equipment was great, got good night's rest, had the right fuel. It just really was just not the ability for me to actually run the pace that I wanted to race. No other excuse. However, I did beat my son, so I held him off one more year in the 5K, which is great. But he finished literally just seconds behind me. And a friend that I ran with, a good friend of mine, also ran this morning, and he finished just a few seconds after my son. So the three of us finished all within just a few moments of each other, a few seconds of each other, and had a great race and really enjoyed it. Hit the beer garden afterwards, and that was fun. I got to chat a little bit with Marcin about, you know, his upcoming races, the races we're doing, to catch up on that, so that was pretty sweet. So yeah, all in all, decent week. Mileage is still really low. However, week 8, mileage goes up. Mileage goes up big time. Actually, wait, does it go up big time? Scratch that. Doesn't go up big time. It just goes up a little bit of time. Goes to 40 miles, right? Another 10 more miles. So yeah, not big, but I guess what does go up big next week is my long run is going to go up big. This week was a down week with long runs, 10-mile long run, that's it. So I got to go, the schedule calls for a 20-mile long run now, which probably isn't the smartest thing to do, to go from, my longest run today is 14 miles, to go from 14 to 20, that's a big jump. And you'll get a lot of advice out there saying that's too big of a jump in long runs, and you might be, you know, doing yourself a disservice by doing that. However, I'm at that stage right now where I need to get the long run in. I need to get that 20-mile in. I need to get some confidence inside me because I'm lacking confidence right now. So, okay, that's it. That's week 7. Can't believe it's already week 7. It's unbelievable. We're heading into week 8. It's unbelievable how quickly this is actually flying by, and we're already into April, and we're going to be doing one more race before rock and roll. That's the La Jolla Half Marathon. That is May 20th. That'll be a good test. So I hope to actually maybe focus a bit more. I need to get more speed work in. That is 100% clear. Speed work. Got to get the speed work in. Weather is going to be warming up. No excuses about, you know, rain and mud and just being cold and windy. Spring is here. It's supposed to be in the 80s next weekend. So with that weather means speed work. That weather means tempo work. That weather means intervals. That weather means doing some ladders. It means like picking up the pace and dropping half marathon pace